the story. Because I heard you guys like stories.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Love the stories.
So, the story has a preamble. You all remember I created a document, you all got a copy, the 4 pillars. It's got pictures of the books, the Aura, and Alchemy. Remember the document? Okay. You remember the teaching about the importance of the 4 pillars, that they found form the foundation of the whole teaching, and that you must go through the 4 pillars. And I've explained that to you in the context of Bohatic keys and good stuff like that. And so, in order to create that document, I spent years searching for the source quotations so I could back up what I was saying, because for 25 years, people looked at me like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I wanted to be able to say, it's not me saying this, here's the evidence. And I went through all the Keepers of the Flame lessons, all the dictations of Gethsemane, all the dictations of Dwell. I searched high and low through all the pearls of wisdom, couldn't find the reference.
I know.
So last summer, in the middle of some pretty intense karmic weight, and I was really feeling the pressure, I sat down in front of my altar, I finished my morning decrees, and I looked straight at El Moria, and I said, El Moria, you know, don't ask for much, but today, please, can you just give me something, some little thing to lift me a little bit out of this oppressive, what I'm feeling? And I thanked him, and I went on with my day. And just before I headed out to work, suddenly I felt this urge to go back into my cabinet with all my really, really precious material. And I pulled out my original creation cloud booklet, stuck it in a Ziploc bag, and took it to work. Figured I'll read this on my lunch. And it was in here that I discovered the source material that I was looking for just when the clouds broke and the rain finally ended. And did I get lifted? I couldn't believe how good I felt after all those years of searching to finally, now I can produce that document. So it's that kind of a miracle that happened last Saturday night. You recall, recently, I'm searching for the code of conduct. And most of you received a document a few years ago called the White Paper about the Guru-Chela relationship. And what you don't know is that when Peter and Neroli Duffy were involved in creating that document, the organization at the executive level was removing the code of conduct. And there were some people, long-standing Keepers of the Flame, who made some letters available on the internet that I was given access to, about 15 or 20 years ago this happened. And these are like 20-page letters, and they were talking about, by removing the code of conduct, you lose the sponsorship of El Moria, and all these concerns about what was happening politically in the organization. And so it's been really front and center in my mind in the past year that I want to get the original code of conduct. And it's been kind of challenging to find, who's going to have this, who's going to actually have it and share it with me if it's been withdrawn for political reasons or whatever. So that's part 2 of the preamble. 30 years ago, somebody gave me a book called The Ascended Masters Write the Book of Life.
What was it called?
The Ascended Masters Write the Book of Life. Hardcover, green cloth, gorgeous book, and I was just floored by what a treasure it was. It was priceless. And through a series of extraordinary events, it was taken from me and I never got it back. There was a very negative situation occurring and personalities and people doing things, and I couldn't get it back. So I've searched for 30 years. Every used bookstore I go by, every used book website, I search the internet 5 times a year. It's like the book doesn't exist. So last year, I found a gentleman named Werner Schroeder who created the Ascended Master Teaching Foundation, which republished 6,000 pages of dictations that originally came through the Bridge to Freedom in the 1950s. Material that's been pretty much lost for most people. And I sent him an email, and he said he knew of this book, he had it at one time, and he had incorporated all that information into the new material that they had published, but it was a little bit here, a little bit there, and it was like not all in one book. And I kept looking. And I kept not finding. And I kept wanting real bad. So last Saturday night we did the creation of the cloud. And I went home, and I got home at 1 a.m., and usually I just want to put my feet up, and I was like, oh, I'm done. But no, El Moria's got me sitting at the computer, clicking on I don't know what.
How did I get here?
Divine stumbling.
Yeah.
And suddenly I'm downloading the Ascended Masters Write the Book of Life. Somebody has scanned, opened it up on a scanner and scanned every page and uploaded it onto a website, and I've got it in front of me and I'm downloading it as fast as I can.
Did you get it all?
I got the whole thing.
Okay, good.
I got the whole thing. And it was in 3 files. And as I got the third one downloaded and I clicked it open, the page opens and it says, Code of Conduct.
Oh my
Can you believe it? Can you believe it? The Code of Conduct for a disciple of the Holy Spirit. We have it.
That's incredible.
That is incredible.
That's great. You're searching for this. Don't you ask for help?
No, I don't even search. They sit me down and
No, I mean, generally speaking.
They know. They know what's going through his mind.
it's like they're working my fingers for me. I don't know how that is. But you can't make this up. This is crazy.
I wonder who downloaded the entire book for you, photocopied every page for you.
I don't know.
Just simply, there it is.
Normally I do
It's a miracle.
double-sided. It is a miracle. Normally I do double-sided pages so they turn like this. And this one turns like this, and I thought, yeah, I don't like that one. I'm going to turn it.
I will like it.
I was just going to say, if you don't care.
I thought I'd take a moment and read this for you.
Oh, thank you.
Be conscious ever that thou aspirest to the fullest expression of God, and devote all of thy being and thy service to that end, as expressed so ably in the first commandment. Learn the lesson of harmlessness. Neither by word, nor thought, nor feeling inflict evil upon any part of life. Know that action and physical violence are but the lesser part of the sin of harmful expression. Stir not a brother's sea of emotion, thoughtlessly or deliberately. Know that the storm in which thou placest his spirit will sooner or later flow upon the banks of thine own life stream. Rather, bring tranquility to life, and be, as the psalmist so ably puts it, oil on the troubled waters. Disassociate thyself from the personal delusion. Never let self-justification reveal that thou dost love the self more than the harmony of the universe. If thou art right, there is no need to acclaim it. If thou art wrong, pray for forgiveness. Watching the self, thou wilt find the rising tides of indignation among the more subtle shadows on the path of right, called self-righteousness. Walk gently through the universe, knowing that the body is a temple in which dwelleth the Holy Spirit, which bringeth peace and illumination to life everywhere. Keep thy temple always in a respectful and cleanly manner, as befitting the habitation of the Spirit of truth. Respect and honor, in gentle dignity, all other temples, knowing that oft-times within a crude exterior burns a greater light. In the presence of nature, absorb the beauties and gifts of her kingdom in gentle gratitude. Do not desecrate her by vile thoughts or emotions, or by physical acts that despoil her virgin beauty. Do not form nor offer opinions unless invited to do so, and then only after prayer and silent invocation for guidance. Speak when God chooses to say something through thee. At other times, remain peacefully silent. Make the ritual of thy living the observance of God's rules, so unobtrusive that no man shall know that thou aspirest to godliness, lest the force of his outer will might be pitted against thee, or lest thy service become impinged with pride. Let thy heart be a song of gratitude that the Most High has given unto thy keeping the Spirit of life, which through thee chooses to widen the borders of his kingdom. Be alert always to use thy faculties and the gifts loaned unto thee by the Father of all life in a manner to extend his kingdom. Claim nothing for thyself, neither powers nor principalities, any more than they claimest the air thou breathest or the sun, using them freely, but knowing the God ownership of all. In speech and action be gentle, but with the dignity that always accompanies the presence of the living God that is within the temple. Constantly place all the faculties of thy being and all the inner unfoldment of thy nature at the feet of the God power, especially when endeavoring to manifest perfection through one in distress. Let thy watchwords be gentleness, humility, and loving service. But do not allow the impression of humility to be mistaken for lethargy. The servant of the Lord, like the sun in the heavens, is eternally vigilant and constantly outpouring the gifts which are in his particular keeping. And that's by Mahat Chohan. And at 11 p.m. it'll be in your emails.